Hi, how are you? I'd like to introduce you to the first episode of Down and Dirty with the Goon. Hi, I'm the Goon, also known as Griffin. If you had a name of a cartoon character, you'd probably go with the Goon. So, this show is brought to you by Muscle Gelz. This being the first episode, I thought I'd introduce myself a little bit. Like I said, I'm Chris Griffin, aka the Goon. I've been training for probably the better part of 30 years. Anywhere from bodybuilding to powerlifting, training for football, some strongman, back to my first love, bodybuilding. I'm a guy with not great genetics, and I'm not a fantastic competitor. I just happen to know a lot of fantastic competitors, and I've trained with them. I'm a trainer and a prep coach. And I'm one of those guys who has had to work for every inch of muscle that he's ever put on. So I might have a few interesting tricks for you and a few good stories. Right now, we're broadcasting from Bayshore Athletic Club in Braintree, Massachusetts. I'd like to thank Tim and Audra Dowling for letting me use their lovely facility for this video. If you notice, I don't have a backdrop with degrees there and there and over there. Maybe I could get a shower curtain for here or there, but I don't. I'm at a gym. Unlike a lot of YouTube guys, I actually train at a gym, so I'm in a gym. When I first thought about the show, I threw out some questions on my Facebook. And the first question I'd like to approach comes from Mike down in Florida. He asked, do you think striated glutes are genetic? Yes, like anything else in the sport, to a certain extent, everything's genetic. It all depends where you have fat storage. Basically, the first place that you put on fat will be the last place that it comes off. Now, can anybody get striated glutes? It's a catch-22. Yes, anybody can get striated glutes. It's going to be easier for some, but for others, it's going to be the amount of muscle that you're going to have to lose. Some people are going to have to really suck down to get striped glutes. Sad but true. It's just like not everyone can be round and full all the time. Not everyone can have striped glutes without paying for it. Another question comes from George in London. He asks, what's a good punk rock playlist? Well, being a punk rock fan myself, I'll tell you what's on my recent playlist. Lars Fredriksen's new band, the Old Firm Casuals. Definitely business sound, reminiscent of some like old school 1980s stuff, real street punk, get you going. Anything by the Misfits, especially old Misfits. Glenn Danzig singing, old Black Flag, but I'm going to say Keith Morris era as opposed to Henry Rollins era. It's faster and more punky. The Bad Brains, possibly like one of the most influential groups of all time. Fast, great, they did their own thing. And on the Bad Brains note, this is a metal band, Sepultura, but their album, Roots, kind of hit that Bad Brains direction, did what they want, added some of that African drum stuff in. Really fantastic. And being a Boston boy, I have to throw in the Street Dogs, Dorchester's finest. Now, this was a troll question, but I kind of find it funny, and I do have a story about this. And this might be a segment, story time. I was asked, have I ever witnessed somebody having sex with an animal? And I'm going to say yes, on 2 occasions. Once in Tijuana at the Donkey Show, and it's not a myth. If you go to somebody in Tijuana who knows Tijuana, you will find the Donkey Show. Not that I recommend it, but there is a Donkey Show in Tijuana. And the second time was here in beautiful Boston, Massachusetts. Some years ago, I worked for a gentleman's club. And one of the capacities of being in the gentleman's club was when dancers were hired out to go to functions, I would go with them to make sure they got paid and didn't get hassled. I brought several girls to a bachelor party at a VFW. Went into the VFW, and there were some guys I vaguely knew from around town, a couple I had gone to high school with. some real dead-end kids. These were some rough characters. And I'm looking through the crowd, and I noticed a guy who was a few years ahead of me in high school. He was a real dust smoker. That meant he smoked a lot of angel dust, PCP, Crazy Eddie, Ash Red, and had about half a brain left. He was walking around with a black trench coat on. Now, black trench coats usually put me in a situation of what the hell's going on here? Why is somebody wearing a trench coat anyway? Why are you wearing it indoors? Basically, the only place for black trench coat is like 1950s London. So as the party goes on, guys are drinking, the girls are in back getting ready to go on stage. Then I look for this guy. We're just going to call him Sully. It's close enough, and you get the idea, because I'm not naming any names. Well, one of the guys who was throwing the party comes out and says, I got a special treat for you. And they bring a golden retriever out on stage. And then lo and behold, here comes Sully out on stage. Opens up the trench coat. He's naked. Full mask. And he starts having sex with the dog as an opening act. I tried not to look, but I figure, hell, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. I was kind of disgusted, but you figure, when else are you going to get to see something like this? Also, I'm in a room full of 40, 50 guys, and I'm not going to be the one who yells, stop. So he does his thing, the girls come on, everyone has a great time. So kids, there's a lesson for you. Don't smoke angel dust. And never trust anybody in a black trench coat. Okay, that's it for story time. Just, the episode should be coming up. Tune in. And I want to thank Muscle Gelz for putting on the show. And the episodes will get better as we go along. Get the fuck out of here.